This is Manchester United versus West Ham preview, and we've got two great pieces of news to start the show off for you. First of all, Ashley Young cannot play in the game against West Ham. He is suspended. And secondly, you may notice from my attire that I am wearing the brand new exclusive I nearly said Manchester United. It should be a United kit. It's the United Stand FC kit, being modelled by me perfectly well. It's out. The link's in the video description. For anybody who wants to buy one, you can get one. We've also got the away shirt, which is black. I was tempted to wear that one. I'm sure I'll wear it in the future as well. But it's here. United Stand FC. Goldbridge in the house wearing it. 39 on the back because that's my number. And yeah, get involved. Get a link in the video description. We've got merch and it's all in Adidas stuff. So it's all good stuff. People have always said, why don't you do merch? And I've always said no, because I want the quality to be the quality I would wear. And we've got it. So link in the video description. You can get one of these while they last. There's not an infinite number of them. So, and it's open worldwide as well. Everyone in the world. We're not being worldist with this. Anyone in the world can get one. Link in the video description. But Intro Gretness says he loves the black one. I nearly wore the black one, and they have it in kids sizes as well because I've just ordered one for little Maddie. So yeah. We've got all sizes, I think, from age 5. So anyway, let's get on with the show. We can come back to that later. But I just want to start off very, very quickly. There was some interesting news around Manchester United today that Idrissa Gueye is a target from Everton to come in and replace Ander Herrera. This, to me, would be up there with some of the stupid decisions we make, like paying a dog walker who's crap on the piano 400 grand a week. Idrissa Gueye is 1 month younger than Ander Herrera. He's 29. In fact, I think he's older. No, they're the same age. Herrera's 30 in August. Idrissa Gueye's 30 in September. Herrera's a little bit taller. Herrera's had the better career, but we're going to let Ander Herrera go and spend 40 million on Idrissa Gueye. I mean, this is hilarious. Just to give you the latest on Ander Herrera as well, because a lot of United fans seem to think that Scott McTominay and Fred are better than Herrera. I mean, this is why we're getting more and more like Arsenal. Maybe one day McTominay and Fred can be better than Herrera, but there's no way they are currently better than Herrera. And people seem to just think, oh, let Herrera go. It doesn't matter that he's one of our best players and gets what it's all about. Let him go. It's FIFA. It's Football Manager. I want to be a Madrista. Just let them go. I'm bored of that toy. Well, the latest news is that we haven't actually spoken to Ander Herrera for 3 months. And considering he can talk to other clubs over the last 3 months, we haven't bothered trying to get hold of him for a new contract, in which time other clubs have been offering him contracts. He is willing to listen to Manchester United, but the old snooze you lose thing has happened. And apparently PSG will pay him 150 grand, but United don't really want to pay him that. Mata's on 140, Ashley Young's on 120, Phil Jones and Smalling are on about 100. Ander Herrera's current wage is 80 and has been for the last 5 years. I don't think 150 grand is anything that we should be concerned about. And again, I think we've messed up on that one big time. But we'll see what happens. But a lot of United fans are throwing this 200 grand a week out, and I think it's a load of nonsense. I really, really do. Anyway, let's talk Manchester United versus West Ham. Interestingly, very interesting, that we have lost 4 of our last 6 games, and so have they. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? We've lost 4 of our last 6 games. Granted, 2 of them have been cup games, Wolves and Barcelona, but we've also lost to Arsenal and Wolves again in the league. So last 6 games, we've lost 4, as have West Ham. I cannot state any more. This is Solskjaer's biggest test. A lot of people, it rolls from game to game. Oh, Barcelona's Solskjaer's biggest test. Arsenal away is Solskjaer's biggest test. What he had for breakfast is his biggest test. This is his biggest test on Saturday. Have no qualms about it. New camp Tuesday. I mean, even if we win that, you've still got to get through Liverpool in the semi-finals. Saturday, if we draw or lose, forget about it. Forget about top 4, because we are currently 6th place. I think we are 5 points off 3rd. Granted, Chelsea have got a game in hand, but we are 3 points off 4th, which is Spurs. If we drop any more points, we're already in 6th. And West Ham at home, it's got to be a win. There is no room for manoeuvrability in this game. We've got to win this game of football. No messing about. No, oh, we went 2-0 down and we came back brilliantly to get a 2-2 draw again, like we did in the last 10 minutes against Burnley. That stuff won't wash. It won't. We have got to win this game of football against West Ham at the weekend. And are West Ham a problem? Well, they've lost to Everton 2-0, Chelsea 2-0. I think they lost to Cardiff 2-0. Their only game they've won in their last 4 was 4-3 at home to Huddersfield, and I think they were 3-1 down in that. So it's a game that we should be winning at Old Trafford, but it's exactly the sort of game that worries me, if I'm honest, because Watford are a better team than West Ham, but, you know, we just, at home, we just don't seem to be able to get it. And it's not Ollie's fault. It's something that's been going on for years, like I've said a few times. And we need to sort this home form out, because I think after West Ham, our next home games are Chelsea and Man City. You can't go into them cold. So West Ham at the weekend is an opportunity for United to solve a couple of problems. One, to actually play convincing football at home. But two, to sort the forward. I didn't really, I was going to say forward. Sort the forward crisis out. We've got problems at Manchester United up front at the moment. And as much as people want to criticise Romelu Lukaku, the reality is Marcus Rashford's been terrible, absolutely terrible for weeks. And, you know, I must admit, Red Baron says, if you notice, Barca players left Young on his own because he wasn't offering a threat, making harder to attack on our left-hand side since they had an extra player on the left. Red Baron, you're right. We spoke about it before the game. Most teams know that if you swamp United's left-hand side, they're not going to hurt you down the right-hand side. And that was true again yesterday. But we've got to go into this West Ham game. We've got to win it. Daniel Dewar says it's awful how Herrera has been handled at United. We offer new contracts to Jones and Smalling, but stall on deals with Herrera and De Gea. Love the show, Mark. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, but you know what? Herrera's being painted as a villain, and it's totally and utterly unfair. But that's the modern fan for you. They flip-flop. Have we got any flip-flop emojis? I know we have got one for the members. I don't know if we've got any members in, but they flip-flop around, and I just think it's totally unfair. I really do. I think that, though, just talking about Rashford, though, this is something that sort of irritates me a little bit. Every time I hear Ole Gunnar Solskjaer use the word Rashy, it winds me up for some reason. And I love Rashford and I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but every time I hear him going, oh, Rashy's carrying an injury, oh, Rashy's ill, oh, Rashy's this, oh, Rashy, it's like, he's not bloody Beckham, he's not Scholes, he's not Pogba, he's a young lad with a lot of potential who we seem to be obsessed with playing every minute of every bloody game. Like, he's been injured for a month. We've never given him a rest. He played last night and he's ill. We've not given him a rest. And he's playing crap. Like I said last night, it's like the club and Ollie and everyone think he's at Kylian Mbappe. He is not Kylian Mbappe. He is nowhere near that level. He could be, but we are overusing him and he is bereft of confidence and ability at the moment. He's absolutely terrible. And I hope against West Ham at the weekend he scores a couple of goals. But the reality is, we're in danger of grinding Rashford into the ground because we won't rest him. We act like he's the star player, and he's very, very far from it. And I actually think, as a fan of Marcus Rashford, I would like to see him get dropped. He needs to realise that you're not just going to get picked every bloody game. And you can perform like that just because you run around and put a lot of effort in. I don't think he's anywhere near. I thought Lukaku played better than him last night. I mean, that is the worst insult you can play to anybody. So I think at the moment, you know what? If I'm totally honest with you, Barcelona beat us in third gear. That's the only thing I feel about last night. I think we tried absolutely everything and created nothing. And I think Barcelona got the goal and thought that's all we need. And they never went into fourth or fifth gear. And I think anyone who thinks we're going to the Nou Camp and going to win, I'm not going to say we can't win, but I don't think Barcelona can play that bad again. And I think that we're celebrating a 1-0 loss like we're Stoke. You know, I think if that was Stoke in the Champions League at home to Barcelona and they only lost 1-0 and they put up a good fight, they'd be like, let's put that in the DVD and we'll remember that for 20 years. And I think, well, actually, 10 years ago, we were in Champions League finals. 20 years ago, we won a bloody treble. There's nothing memorable about losing 1-0 to Barcelona, but doing us proud. There's nothing. I think we need to be I personally think we need to be very, very careful of that. Expectations are so low. And I think that as well, look, I'm gonna come across a bit blunt here, but I don't really care because it's my opinion and I want to see what yours are. But I thought McTominay and Fred played really well last night. But if you're going to keep picking Fred Young, like some people gave Young 1 out of 10 last night. It's not a surprise. He's been playing like that for weeks and weeks, and some would say months. But he's being picked by Carrick, Phelan and Solskjaer. And I'm actually past sort of blaming Ashley Young. I don't think he goes out there and does it on purpose, but somebody is picking him. And this is on the world's biggest stage as well. And he gets exposed as the poor right-back that he actually is. But I think at United, and it worries me because is this coming from upstairs? Is this the task that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has? Try and challenge for a title with a cheaper squad than Everton, you know, and that's what worries me. Or maybe not a cheaper squad, but a squad as good as Everton, because that's what I think. I think Fred played well last night. McTominay played well last night. Are either of those two players ever going to be considered to play for Liverpool, for Manchester City, for Spurs, for Chelsea, even for Arsenal? And I think maybe Arsenal, but I certainly think Man City and Liverpool would laugh at them if they turned up with their boots and their shin pads for training. And that's what worries me. It's like, have our expectations dropped so low that we're now polishing stones? And yeah, they're not shit, but they're stones. They're not diamonds. And we're polishing these stones, trying to pretend that they are. And that's what worries me. But I suppose that, you know, positivity has to reign. And I would say that we've got to look towards the summer and hope that we are going to improve. But what concerns me is that some light bulb goes off after last night and they go, well, Herrera's going, but it doesn't matter because we've got McTominay and Fred. And I will tell you now, we will finish 5th next year. A midfield of Matic, Fred, McTominay, Pogba is not going to challenge for the title. It just isn't. Because, and that's not criticising any of those players, if you want to challenge for the title, it's not just players that play well. It's world-class players you need. That's the difference. That's the sentence I really wanted to get across. It's not about picking on a Fred. It's not about picking on a Smalling. It's about saying, does Smalling and Fred get into Man City's team, Barcelona's team, PSG's team, Juventus' team, Liverpool's team? No, they don't. But they get into our team and we shout them up because they put a lot of effort in and but they're playing at their, it's like they're, you know, if they were a car, they'd be spouting out black smoke because their foot's right down to the pedal and they're playing really well, but they're playing on their limit. You need world-class players. That's what United need. We need that world-class centre-back. We need that world-class centre defensive midfielder. That's what we need. That's what worries me in the summer. Because without a question of a doubt, Barcelona were in 3rd gear and we were like foot down in 5th and we still lost. And it was a good performance, but I don't see many positives from it. There's not a lot from that performance last night that, well, let me be honest with you, that team needs about 6 players to challenge for the title and the Champions League, which is what we want to do. And if we want to just challenge for 5th every year, stick with that squad. But if you want to go to the level United need to be, I don't see enough diamonds in there. I don't think Fred's going to become a diamond. I think he can become a Herrera. But was Herrera ever good enough to be a title winner? I said that a year ago. I like Herrera. But can I see United winning a title with Herrera in the midfield? Probably not. Is Fred ever going to be better than Herrera? I don't think so. Is McTominay going to be better than Herrera? I don't think so. We need better. We definitely do need better. Anyway, Josh Wearing says, we had the same issue with Lukaku last year under the last manager. We need a better rotation of forwards players so no one gets burned out. And Praveen Thomas says, I would judge Solskjaer based on whom he buys. This is where Klopp and Pep got it right. They made smart buys. Unlike our previous 3 managers, we are still paying the price for that. And I think that's a good point because I like the fact that you mentioned Klopp and Pep, because by mentioning Klopp and Pep, let's not forget, neither of them instantly won the title. Klopp still hasn't. But there was a bit of transition for Pep. He had to buy a couple of right-backs, a goalkeeper. With Klopp, he's been there at Liverpool for 3 years to get where he is, and that's the patience that we require with Solskjaer, certainly. But you know what? As I said last night, I want Solskjaer to be Manchester United manager. I really do, and patience is important. But I don't think we can just be exclusively blaming players all the time. Yes, Ashley Young's a very, very bad footballer, but who picks him? The manager. Every tweet, everything I saw on social media today, slating Ashley Young. You know the thing that was in my head? That's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. It's not Ashley Young's fault. It's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault because that wasn't an isolated performance last night. He's been doing that for a long, long time and he should have been dropped a long, long time ago. But not only does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pick him, he puts the captain's armband on. And it's very cool to go and do a fan cam and say, yeah, Ashley Young's crap. And I don't disagree with it, but nobody's understanding who picks him and who gives him the captain's armband. That is a mistake by Ollie, and he will make mistakes. Welcome, Will Cotton, our latest United Stand member. You can join the United Stand Club by clicking the join button. You get your little badge, and you get access to our emojis, and you get exclusive posts as well. Anyway, let's talk about this West Ham game at the weekend. We've got to win it. We've got to win it. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. We have to win this game of football. So, interestingly, no Luke Shaw. And this is a problem for United. No Luke Shaw, and we haven't got Luke Shaw back until the Chelsea game. Like, he's suspended for 2 Premier League games, West Ham and Everton away, which is dodgy, because Everton have got good width, and also the Nou Camp game. So Luke Shaw's got pretty much 2 weeks off now, but that leaves us exposed because we haven't really got any backup. So we've got no Young, which is great. We've got no Shaw, which is disappointing against West Ham. So what I've done is, and welcome to Atik Mikari, our latest member. De Gea in goal. This is my team for West Ham. De Gea in goal. Lindelof and Smalling, obviously at the moment, they're our best centre-back pairing. I've put Valencia at right back and I've put Delot at left back. Now, a lot of people say Rojo at left back, but Rojo's got no pace. Rojo's not going to bomb up and down. He just hasn't got that energy and pace that Luke Shaw has. So I've gone with Delot because he's the closest thing we've got who can do that. And now, the right back depends on fitness. But the reason I've gone with Valencia is because Valencia and Darmian are both injured, by the way, and neither of them may be available. And if that's the case, we're probably going to have to play Delot at right back and put Luke Rojo at left back. But if Valencia's fit, I would play Valencia because, you know, for all the criticism of Valencia, and he was a bit crap, he was nowhere near as crap as Ashley Young. And I think Valencia, with his experience, I think I'd go Valencia and Delot as fullbacks. But Valencia's got to be fit for that to happen. Midfield three, assuming that Matic and Herrera are injured. Why wouldn't they be? It's only a couple of days ago from the Barcelona game. I'd stick with Fred, McTominay and Pogba. No qualms with those. And to be honest with you, in relation to Fred and McTominay, although McTominay's got time on his side, maybe a loan next year, I don't know. But with Fred, you've just got to keep playing him. He's a £50 million player. He's in his mid-20s. Is he going to be a United player or is he not? Well, we need to find out. He played very, very well against Barcelona. He was 50-50 against Wolves. I think European football suits him. Is Premier League for him or not? Let's find out. I would play Fred in this game and I would play him for the next few games and see what happens because he gives us more mobility, he's quicker at moving the ball, and that's effectively how Ollie wants to play anyway. So Fred has got to play and we need to keep playing him. And same with McTominay, I would say, yes. Quinn in the North, when three managers have all made crap investments, is it really their fault or is it someone above them? Woodward, who has the final say. Wouldn't disagree with that. Ethan Laird, silent but deadly. I would love to see him starting at fullback for United, but I just don't know whether it's a big game. And as I've said before, call me a cynic, but I just feel that this youth talk from Ollie is a load of bollocks at the moment. And until I'm proved otherwise, I just don't buy it. He talks about youth all the time, but he never uses it. I mean, against Wolves, he had one striker with Martial. He could have had Chong, he could have had Gomez, he could have had Greenwood. He doesn't actually use the youth, so I'll be very, very surprised if we see any of that. I mean, we constantly hear about James Garner, Ethan Laird. They don't get game time, and people will say, well, it's because it's the business end of the season. Well, it'll be the business start of the season in August. There's never a perfect time to play youth, and he knows that more than anybody. We started the season with the class of 92 back in the mid-90s and we lost against Villa, but we stuck with it. If they're good enough, you play them. And I don't think he thinks they're good enough, to be honest, because he doesn't use them. Front three, let's talk about that. But Nikki Katani says, Koulibaly made such a great tackle against the French Charlie Austin. That is the kind of quality Manchester United need. And Liverpool's deal with Nike, even more dollar for them. Myth, Ed is a savvy guy. If he was, our players wouldn't be close to leaving free and we'd get our targets and a director of football. If this sum is crap, then Ed needs to go, says Tyson Marley. Well, I feel a lot of people probably agree with you with that. Front three might surprise you. I've gone with Martial and Lingard. Look, these two have got to play. They've got to play. There are question marks about all of our forwards at the moment. Martial, Rashford, Lingard, Lukaku. I think they're all playing poorly. But the point is, Martial and Lingard are not leaving United. They're both on long contracts and they're both good players. Start playing them. None of this bench bollocks. Get them in the team. Start playing them consistently. And let's see what happens. Because this little dabble... I mean, Lingard and Martial came on for the last 20 minutes, half an hour last night. And they looked a bit lost. Start them from minute one and play them into form. And against West Ham, let's get back to that 4-3-3. I said this last night. The best formation that Ollie played in the first 3 months was 4-3-3. And over the last 2 months, he's sort of started messing around and we've started losing games. Go back to the 4-3-3. I'd have Martial on the left, Lingard on the right. And, shock, horror, I'll drop Rashford and play Lukaku. I know a lot of people will be surprised by that, but... Welcome to Ricardo Fidalgo, our latest member of the club. But I would play Lukaku up front. You know why I would play him? Because Rashford needs dropping. He needs that message that you've not been playing well enough lately. He had like 4 shots on goal last night, none on target. He's been poor for weeks. I love Rashford, but he needs dropping. I used to say it about Rooney in his prime. I'd say it about Pogba as well, Martial as well. I can love a player, but sometimes tough love is important. And I would play Lukaku because Lukaku is a 30-goal-a-season striker, and these are the sort of games Lukaku gets 2 goals in. You know, it's against the Crystal Palaces, it's against the Southamptons, it's against the West Hams. He don't score against the top 6, but against the bottom 14, Lukaku gets most of his goals. So I would play Lukaku in this game, and I would have Rashford on the bench. I don't think Ollie will do that. I think it'll be, Rashi's ill, and he's got a broken leg, but we're hoping he'll start. You know, just drop him. Drop him, and it will do him the absolute world of good, I believe. Arsenal are beating Napoli 2-0, which I thought they would do. I thought that the Premier League players would be too quick for Italian players, to be honest with you. Rashford versus Lukaku, that's all we have. Both crap at the moment, says Liam Grogan. Look, our top 4 hopes rest on that front 4 of well, actually, Alexis... I mean, this... Oh, God. Please help me. Alexis Sánchez is back for this game. So you know what's going to happen? We're going to have to go through the most important part of our season hoping that Alexis Sánchez does well again. And I can already see what's going to happen. He'll get an assist. He might even score a goal. He'll run around and try a lot. And people will start thinking, we're going to see the real Sánchez now. We're never going to see the real Sánchez. The real Sánchez is finished. They don't exist anymore. We've got the B-Tech version who's lost a yard of pace and gives the ball away too much. So that's what we've got. I think that he might do okay for us, because one thing about Alexis Sánchez is he does run around a lot, but I forgot he was back. I mean, he makes us play worse, and we're playing quite bad at the moment, but he makes us play even worse. He confuses everybody. But with those front 4 players, Lukaku, Rashford, Lingard and Martial, we need them to find form, because we are in that position now where we need to win games of football, and you're not going to win games of football if your forwards aren't scoring goals. So my prediction for this game, I'm not going to go stupid. I'm just going to say Manchester United 2-0. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 with Manchester United. Robbie McQuaid says he'd go with Martial and Lingard and Sanchez. I don't know that Sanchez will be fit to start. I think he'll play as a bench player. Terminator T800 says I'd play Alexis Sanchez as a striker. Mate, he has lost a yard of pace. Like, I don't know where he plays anymore. I mean, I was at the game where he got injured, the Southampton game, and you probably don't pick up it on the TV screen, but no word of a lie, Pogba was just getting so annoyed with him because he's so slow. Which is another thing. I really hope that Juan Mata doesn't play in this game, because we need a bit of pace in the final third. I think Fred gives us such an impetus now from the back to the front, and Pogba will like that, and McTominay runs around a lot, so we need some pace and finesse in the final third, and I definitely would go with Martial, Lukaku and Lingard. Really, really important for that. Very, very quickly though, on the game yesterday, Coutinho, a few people asked me, would you take Coutinho at Manchester United? I wanted to ask you lot whether you would or not, because he had that good shot, but I don't think he did a hell of a lot, and he was on the Ashley Young side, and you know, to be honest with you, Ashley Young played absolutely abysmal, and Coutinho didn't take that much advantage of him. For me, it's always been a no with Coutinho to United. I think he's a good player, but you know what? He's another left-sided player. We've already got Sanchez, Rashford, Martial. Why would we go and get another left-sided player? And also, he's another Mata, really. He's a player playing out on the wide who's not really a wide player. So, for me, Coutinho would be a big no. And also, how much would you have to spend to buy him? I think they paid 135 million a couple of years ago. So, yeah, Coutinho would be a no as far as I'm concerned. But it's interesting to see how it's going to work out for United over these next few weeks. We are in that horrible position of 6th again, but we are in touching distance. We've got to beat West Ham. We've got to beat West Ham. Is there a part of me that is concerned about it? I suppose there is a little bit. I think it could be a banana skin because we do struggle at home a lot. But I think if we pick that team, I think we'll be okay. Luke Shaw's a big loss, a big loss, and I think we're going to see that over the next few games. I worry about that Everton away game now, because when you take Luke Shaw out of that team, you lose one of the best left backs in the country at the moment. And you know, I know there are people out there with agendas against Luke Shaw. That's not what this is about. But it's not within that. It's not Nobody can argue with the fact that he's one of the best left-backs in the country. He's won our Player of the Month 3 times. He won Player of the Month last month. He's been fantastic for us. And the thing about Luke Shaw is I saw him last night sprinting back. He he is rapid. He is rapid quick. And he gives us the balance with that left foot. And he works well with Pogba and Martial when he plays, which is why I wouldn't play Rojo. I think Rojo would be a defensive left-back. I think we need somebody who can bomb forward and back. And that's why I would really hope that Valencia can get himself back fit and play at right back. Dylan Sarker says, laugh out loud, stop saying he's the best left back. Hey, Dylan Sarker, go and clean your ears out. I said he's one of the best left backs in the country. And he is. He absolutely is. You know, you need to get yourself down Specsavers, mate. The best left back in the country is Andrew Robertson, if that's what you thought I said. He's not the best left-back in the country. He's one of the best left-backs in the country. And those people who don't agree with that, who apparently support Manchester United, you need to sort your agendas out. You're just hating on a player because you don't want them to do well. Look at me with McTominay. I never hated McTominay. I just said I don't get what it's all about. And then he has a couple of good games and everyone pretends that they liked him. Well, I can go through your social media feeds and I can prove you all to be liars. I always tell the truth. I always tell you how I feel. I never saw in McTominay a player that I thought could even play in the Premier League. There's been a couple of performances recently where I've thought, oh, right, now I'm starting to get it. And I'll accept that. But I was right for the last year and a half to question the lad's ability. But people sort of think that, oh, just because you get it wrong, suddenly that decision's wrong now. You've been wrong for 18 months. I haven't been wrong for 18 months about McTominay. He's been absolutely shit for 18 months. The last 2 months, he's been brilliant. Is that a surprise that we're seeing the proper player under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? We saw it with Matic. We're seeing it with Luke Shaw. You know, but I think those people who say that Luke Shaw's not a good left-back are absolutely ridiculous. JS says, Mark, what's your opinion as to why Young gets picked? No trust in Delo? I think that's probably the best question. I want everyone to answer that one. Why does Ashley Young get picked? Because as I said before, I'm past sort of criticising. Well, I'm not. I'm still going to criticise him because he's awful. But I've never seen such bad performances over the last few weeks. He has been abysmal. But it's beyond him now. It's the coaching. Why are they picking him? He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. He is as bad now as when Gary Neville decided to retire because he couldn't do it anymore. That's the sort of performances Ashley Young's putting in. But I think he's way too selfish to do that. I think he's like, no, I can still do it at this level. I'm going to still put myself forward. I'm going to still put the armband on. I'm Ashley Young. That was Gary Neville. We remember that Gary Neville performance, didn't we? I think he did it against Stoke and then he played a couple of other games and he retired. That's how bad Ashley Young's playing. He is playing at the level that he should not be playing at this level anymore. But why are they picking him? New member, welcome to Robbo MUFC7. Welcome, Robbo, our latest United Stand member. Why are they picking him? Bloody hell. I don't know. I mean, there's rumours that he gets on with Carrick and Phelan. But this is Manchester United. It's like what I said before. Are we going to celebrate 1-0 losses to Barcelona because the lads did us proud? Bollocks to that. Like, I had so many people saying to me this morning, I'm really proud of the lads. Oh, yeah, I'm not as disappointed as I thought I was. And I said, look, it's not a thrashing, but I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I'm happy with that 1-0 at home to Barcelona. Bog off. No. The minute you start accepting those results is the minute you start accepting that you are a club that's going to be battling for 5th every year. I want Manchester United back on top. We've got the budget to be back on the top. We've got the infrastructure is there if we start spending that budget to be back on top. So I'm not accepting that result last night as a good performance. I thought it was there were some good individual performances, but did we create enough? No, we didn't. We were quite poor in the final third. But I want better. So why Ashley Young gets picked every week? I don't know, because I think Delo does very, very well. And I could do a better job at right back than Ashley Young. You could do a better job. Obviously there's a joke element to that, but he is that bad. Delo would be a massive improvement on him. And it's not like he doesn't trust Delo to play. He played him in the team against Barcelona last night. He played him against PSG. So I don't know why he picks Ashley Young. I think he thinks he's a leader. And as I said before, he couldn't lead a pack of ants to a picnic. He's terrible. As a leader, he's awful. He's never been a leader. Never been a leader. He's experienced, but he's not a leader. So I don't know. Carrick likes Young and Ollie does as well, says and 3G. Well, if that, that cannot be the reason to pick a player, can it? You can't pick a player just because you like them. But every manager has a weakness. Even Sir Alex Ferguson had weaknesses. He'd have players that everyone didn't really want to pick. I mean, Darren Fletcher was one. Darren Fletcher became very good towards the end of his career at United, but in the formative years, he was a bit of a divider. And some people, is it his son from another woman or something like that? There was some horrible stuff said, but every manager has a weakness. But I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, Nabe Sadiq, this is my problem. He says, hey Mark, can McTominay, Fred and Pogba become our best midfield for the rest of the season? Thoughts on this? Well, I'll give you that actually, because it's a fair comment. I thought he was going to say our midfield for the future, because I think that is the problem with some United fans that I have a personal opinion with. I've seen people today, McTominay, Fred and Pogba can be our midfield for the next 10 years. Well, I don't think Pogba's going to be here for the next 10 months. Fred and McTominay are not title-winning midfielders. They're not. If you want to fight for 5th every year, yeah, let's go with Fred, McTominay and Pogba, and we'll have some good games and we'll have some bad games. But look at the midfields of the teams that are fighting for the titles. They're not playing with people like Fred and McTominay. They're playing with people who are very, De Bruyne's, Fernandinho's, David Silva's. They've got some of the best midfielders in the world. Liverpool's midfield is a little bit different, but having said that, I think Fabinho is amazing. I think that Wijnaldum is very underrated, but you've got to have better than that. I think McTominay, Fred, and Pogba is a slightly better. Well, it's like an Arsenal midfield. It's good, but I don't think it ever gets you near a title. So we've got it's all eyes on the board again, isn't it? I'm not knocking those players because they will give what they can give for the shirt, but effort. It's like I said, isn't it? You can polish a stone as much as you like, and a stone is a very reliable thing, but it ain't ever a diamond. And I think that's going to come from upstairs. Because if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is sat there, I mean, this is the best way I can explain it. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is sat there in the middle of June and Ed Woodward walks in and he says, what's your midfield plans, Ollie? Well, Rashi's ill. No, I don't want to hear any more about Rashi. All right, my midfield, well, Herrera's gone. Matic is shit. So I've got Pogba, if we're going to keep him. I've got Pogba, Fred and McTominay. Now, Woodward can go, great stuff. I'm off to the Barbados with the Glazers. Or he can go, do you want to invest in that midfield? Now, if Ollie says no, that's on Ollie. But if Ollie says, what do you got? And he goes, well, I can get you Verratti and I can get you Ndombele. I'll have that. Ollie would surely say yes to that. And then suddenly you've got Verratti, Ndombele, Pogba. Well, I'm sorry, Verratti, Ndombele, Pogba is streets ahead on a different continent than Pogba, Fred and McTominay. And that's the point I'm making, and that's what's got to come up from upstairs. Because if upstairs they might say, nah, we're not getting you in midfield, you've got Fred and McTominay. We're fucked. Sorry to swear, but we are. We're not going to win a title with that. We'll be competitive, but we won't win titles. If we want to win titles, you need a world-class centre-back, you need a world-class midfielder, and you need a world-class right-winger. That's what United definitely need. And I think on top of that, we probably need a right-back and another midfielder. He gets picked as the only one who's half-decent captain material. Pogba and De Gea flirting with PSG. Who else could captain the club? Nobody, says Ryan FTW. Yeah, but you know what? Ashley Young's not a captain. Like, I get that argument, but Ashley Young is not a captain. He's never been a captain. If you go to Old Trafford and you stand or sit near the dugout or you're near the touchline when they play, he looks like a hobbit. He's tiny. And that's nothing wrong with that, because as a winger, he was very, very effective, Ashley Young. But he's not a leader. He's not a leader. There's nothing about him that's leader. He doesn't... Leaders lead by example. Vidic wasn't massively vocal, but he just won everything. He led by example. Roy Keane was vocal, but also led by example. What's Ashley Young doing? You can't shout. If I was McTominay and Ashley Young shouted at me, I'd turn around and go, "Yeah, shit, mate," and have a swig of Iron Brew. That's what I would do, because you lead by example, and at the moment, no. Richard Pearce says, Kessie, our new pitbull, and thoughts on Gnabry. I think Gnabry's a very, very good player, Richard Pearce, and I've always liked Franck Kessie. I would like him. I do like him, but I don't think we'll go for him, to be honest. Lindelof would be a good captain, is he, Phillips? Yeah, I would. United seem to be lost in this experience issue where we where we want to give the captaincy to people who've been here a long time. But unfortunately, a lot of the people who've been here a long time are shit. Like, it's the Deadwood, isn't it? Valencia had the captain's armband. Crap. Young's got it now. Crap. Who else are we going to give it to? Phil Jones or Chris Smalling? Well, they're not captain. I mean, Smalling, I like Smalling, to be honest. As I said, I think as a backup centre-back next season, he's sound. He's not a captain, though. Phil Jones has got his own problems. He can't even stay on his feet without thinking about leading. So we are locked in that let's give it to somebody who's been here a long time because they know the United way. They don't. Lindelof can be captain, says Queen in the North. A few people asking about the shirts. Yes. The United Stand FC shirt is in the house and it's available. A few people wanted to buy it. You can buy it. The link's in the video description. The United Stand merch, after all these years, it's finally about. We've got the away kit as well, which is basically the red kit in black. You can get numbers on the back, lovely numbering style, and I think at the bottom of your shirt it will say That's Football on the back as well. Plug for my other channel. But I'm wearing the beautiful home red kit at the moment. Links in the video description for that, and it is available worldwide as well, and it's available in all sizes. I think the smallest you can get if you've got kids is like 5 years old, and it goes all the way up to Mad Marcus size, which I think is XXXL. So you can get those. The links in the video description. United Stand expanding. We finally got some merch, and yes, Adidas as well. Adidas kits, lovely stuff. Koulibaly isn't playing well at all, says Intro Greatness. I see that as a positive. Thumbs up, because he's a brilliant player. Akram Ahmed says, Mark, Koulibaly is not good enough for United. Oh, can one of our members put the flip-flops up, please? Somebody has a bad game and now they're not. This is the problem with modern football fans. Don't be a modern football fan. Oh, he's had a bad game, he's shit. I saw this with Sancho the other day. Sancho didn't play well against Spurs. We don't want him. It's not FIFA, it's not Football Manager, it's real life. What should we do? Should we sell Martial and Rashford because they've been playing crap for the last 3 weeks? You know, footballers play bad because it's called real life. This is what happens in real life. Messi was crap last night. Is he no longer the best player in the world now? Is he just an Argentinian Nathan Redmond? I mean, you've got to grasp. I know it's hard because the modern world is so instantaneous and everything's there for you on a plate. But it ain't FIFA, folks. It's real life, and footballers do not play well every single game. And maybe Koulibaly is having a bad game, but he's infinitely better than anything we've got. Trust me, he is. He was world class against Liverpool at Anfield, absolutely world class. So he has a bad game at the Emirates, and suddenly he's not. Come on. The Bucknut fan bought United Stand jersey this AM, paid £21 in shipping because it's coming to Florida. Also bought my first house yesterday. Was hoping for the perfect day with United to beat Barcelona, but unlucky, says that, the Bucknut fan. The flip-flops are out as well. Well, look, Balu says, I think Sancho's overrated anyway. But no, look, look, it's all about opinion. And if you've based your opinion on Koulibaly after 10 games, great. But if you're basing it off the 45 minutes, yeah, it's not right. I think it'd be a good sign. I'm not definitely sure that we'll get Koulibaly anyway, but I actually see the positive. If he plays badly tonight, there's two positives to there. One, he realises how far the Premier League is ahead of Napoli and wants to leave. And two, everyone else might think he's a bit shit and we can buy him for a cheap. So there we go. Nabe, I didn't answer your question. Do I think that a midfield of Fred, McTominay and Pogba is good enough to get us through to the end of the season? No, I don't. You know what I would say? I would use McTominay on the bench and I would bring Herrera back ASAP. I like McTominay and I think he definitely can be trusted to play in the games. But look, if Herrera's fit, Herrera's got to play. There's a reason PSG want him. There's a reason other clubs want him. There's a reason, for me, he was massively influential in that 3 months where we were unbeaten under Ollie. He's a massively important player for Manchester United. He may well be leaving in the summer, but we need to get the best out of him before he does. Exactly what Arsenal are doing with Aaron Ramsey. I think I would like to see Fred, Herrera and Pogba as our midfield between now and the end of the season as soon as possible, with McTominay filling in any of those positions. That's what I would like to see. Because to be honest with you, McTominay, is it fair to go from hardly playing to right now you're playing every single game? I wouldn't have a massive problem if he did, but I think people are just, I think again agendas come in, doesn't it? It's like the fans who don't like Luke Shaw. They won't, you know, you could put them outside and it's pissing it down with rain and they'd say it's sunny and I'm not wet, even though they're drenched. And I think it's the same with Herrera. I think some people have turned on Herrera. And I'd love to go back in time to January when Herrera was our best player and say to all those people who were up his arse, you know what you're going to do in 3 months when there's rumours he's leaving? You're going to say McTominay and Fred are better than him. And they'll go, no. And I'll go, there's the flip-flops. Yes, you are. He's still a very, very good midfielder. And I would like Herrera back. And also, the great thing I like about Herrera is he can really pick a pass and give us some creativity in the final third. And I'm not too confident about McTominay developing that side of his game yet. I think he will do, but look, Herrera's better than Fred and he's better than McTominay. I'd argue that with anybody. He is. At the moment, he is. Those two players can develop and become as good. They can, but they're not as good at the moment. So I would want Herrera back in that midfield as soon as possible with Pogba and Fred and McTominay's backup. The one player I don't want back is Matic. I don't want Matic anywhere near it. I think he slows us down, but I think he'll come back in the team because he ain't going anywhere in the summer. Unfortunately, Herrera's going to go. There's question marks about Pogba. There's question marks about whether McTominay and Fred can be good enough. The one player there's no question marks against is Matic. He ain't going anywhere, and actually, nobody really wants him here, but he will be back in the team as soon as he's fit, and the midfield will slow down. The Black RVP is laughing about Herrera creativity. I mean, again, you know, keep on hating. I could show you clips from the last 3 months where Herrera has done passes that just take the whole defence out. We've spoken about it on this show. He can do it. He's got a brilliant right-footed cross as well. A nice whip on it as well. He has got creativity in him, Herrera. Granted, a lot of his work is the box-to-box grafting work, but he can. He used to be an attacking midfielder in Spain, so he can do that, and he has done that. Again, the hate on... I think you're flip-flops. I really do. I think the agenda against Ander Herrera is nothing short of disgusting. The way people believe paper talk and turn against the player that's never slated the club, that loves the club, that has always been very loyal to the club, that has had his contract run down by the club and now might leave because of how the club has treated him, which I don't really have much of a problem with. I don't want him to go. But the amount of United fans who are now saying, oh, I always thought he was shit. He's not good enough. Get out my club. Oh, he's crap anyway. Oh, McTominay and Fred are better. I mean, it's just laughable. You may as well go and support Arsenal with that mentality. It's really, really, really laughable. The Theo Knight handstand says, Herrera is leaving. He is actually leaving. Next year he will play for another club. Let's give McTominay and Fred a chance for the rest of the season. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Herrera's better than both of them. Are Arsenal doing that then? Oh, Aaron Ramsey's leaving anyway in the summer. Let's not play him and let's play bloody Guendouzi and Herrera and Mkhitaryan. No, they're playing Ramsey because he's a good player. It's a really, really odd opinion, that, because you're biting your nose off to spite your face. Herrera won't be here, so let's play players that are. Or let's play the better player who can get us in the Champions League, and then those players that we've got get to play there, and the fans get to see us in the Champions League. You pick your best team. What if... All right, then. I'll throw that away. I'll throw that another way at you, Theo. What if Paul Pogba is leaving in the summer and United are just covering it up because they don't want the negative publicity around the club? Should they drop Pogba and play Pereira because he's going to be here next year? So it's ridiculous. No. You pick your bet. What if De Gea's going in the summer because he won't sign a new contract? Should we drop him and put Romero in goal because Romero will be here next year? No. You pick your best team. If you think that the best team is Fred and McTominay, that's fine. Personally, I don't. I think get Herrera in there ASAP. But you pick your best team. Otherwise, we might not be in the top four. Leo Man United says that... He says that. Next game account, how many forward passes Herrera makes? Says Leo Man United. But again, your hate is ridiculous. What you're trying to turn Ander Herrera into a bad player because you've decided in your mind that he's greedy and you want him out of the club, and you think we're going to go and sign some amazing player. You've got your opinion, I've got mine, but I do find it appalling the fans that have turned on Herrera that 3 months ago were living up his arse because we were playing great football in that 4-3-3, and he was a massive part of that. But now 3 months later, he might be leaving in the summer. Oh, he's crap. Ridiculous mentality. Jam Bon Jovi says, our signing of the season would be keeping Herrera at the club. I tell you what, I would absolutely love him to stay at the club. One, because I really like him anyway, but two, would be a big up yours to those people who flip-flopped on him and now are saying, oh, he's rubbish, because you'd all have to sit down and take it, wouldn't you? I don't think he is going to stay, though, but I would love it if he did. It would be hilarious, absolutely hilarius. Marius Larson says, totally agree. Herrera is better than Matic, McTominay and Fred. No hate for Herrera, and I hope he stays. One of my favourite players. He loves United. And some people are saying Herrera's priceless, and some people are saying, "Oh, get out of my club." I think it's all about opinion, isn't it? That's what it's all about. I can only give you my opinion at the end of the day. But West Ham, what a game it is at the weekend. It's a must-win game, and I personally think it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's biggest game, because if we draw or lose, we're not getting top 4. This is one of those games you've got to get 3 points in. West Ham at home. We've got to be there on Saturday night going, we got 3 points. And again, a bit like Watford. If we get it by scraping it or whatever, it's far. I would rather play crap and win 1-0 than it be the best game the Premier League's ever had and before all. Because that's no good to us. We need to win this game. We've got to win it. And that's how I would go. I would drop Rashford. And Rashford's one of my favourite players, but I would drop him because he's been playing really, really badly. And we're playing him with illnesses and injuries like he's Kylian Mbappe. And he's not. He's a work in progress. And as part of that work in progress, I think now is the time to drop him so he realises himself that it's not been good enough recently. Back to the drawing board, back to the training ground and work your way back in. That's what I think. Anyway, please do smash a like on the video, everybody. Let's see if we can get 500 likes while we're live. And also, as a parting gift to you, United Stand. The United Stand. I must show you the logo a little bit. There we go. Look. All the chest out. The United Stand kit is now out for you to buy. Obviously, we've been doing trials with the team. The link is in the video description. You can go to the United Stand merch page on Kit Locker. All of it is Adidas. We've got this kit. We've got the away kit, which is in black with the yellow and the yellow numbers on the back. You can get numbers on the back if you want to. It's available in all sizes. And the link's in the video description for it. And I must just say, the badge on it is absolutely amazing. Perfectly designed by Draughty Devil. But the way it's on the, like the Adidas bit is sort of quite, and the sponsor's quite level with the shirt. This actually comes off the shirt. It's a good few millimetres off of the way the badge goes on it. You'll have to get one to see what I mean. But absolutely fantastic to have that. Feel free to get one. Link in the video description. Home and away. We've got some jumpers. We've got some zip-up tops as well, as you can see if you go to the link in the video description. So thanks everyone for watching. We're back tomorrow morning at around 10 AM UK time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. United Stand FC. Get your kits. Link in the video description. And it's available worldwide. I must say that. Anyone can get one. See you all soon.